Hey everybody, today I thought I would throw together a cabbage dish. I love cabbage. I'm actually thinking about getting it started right now. It's the second week in February. Is it second? Yeah, second or third. I think it's the second. But we're able to start putting out some of these colder crops right now in the garden. So carrots, cabbage, things like that. So when I was thinking about that, I thought, well, let me just grab a cabbage at the store, and because I didn't grow any last year. And let's throw together a nice little dish. It's kind of a Cajun dish. You don't have to make it Cajun if you don't want to. The only thing Cajun is I'm going to be putting in some Cajun spice, my own home mix. I will put the recipe to this down below in the description, and it'll also be on the recipe on my website, gregs-kitchen.com. But you can either throw your own together, which is a lot healthier, I think, or you can get whatever kind of Cajun spices you want at the grocery store. But first, I'm not going to fry off. The recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of hamburger. I'm not going to have to fry that off because I'm using my canned hamburger. And I'm not going to, there's a little ring of fat around the top. I'm not taking that out because I actually want some fat in this dish. So I'm just going to turn my burner on low and put this meat down in there right now. Let it start warming up and get the pan warmed up. That's what I like about this home canned meat, hamburgers, chickens, things like that. You got it instantly ready to use. Put that one in there. So I'm going to use 2 pints, and that should be close to 1.5 pounds. And I'm going to pray that this skillet is big enough. It's one of the biggest ones I have in here. So we're just going to try that. Now we are going to add the cabbage. I want to go ahead and get that started cutting up right now because I want to put that in. It takes a while for it to wilt down and actually become part of the dish. So I'm just going to cut it in half. And then what I like to do is the core right here, I just cut out a V so you can take that out real easily. And then you're ready to use it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep putting these in here because I'm going to put these back in the compost. There we go. Now you can cut this any way you want. Let me get a stir here so I can get this going. I'm actually going to turn it up one. Get that cooking. Now there is some broth in the hamburger, and I'm going to leave that there because it's going to help the moisture. It's going to help steam the cabbage and break it down a lot quicker. So let me just get these all, and you can cut this any way you like. And I just dropped a couple cabbages back here. Forget those before Brody comes and gets them. Actually, I don't think he'll eat cabbage. And I'm just putting mine in little, probably 1-inch squares. And I am going to put this in pretty quickly because it takes a while for it to break down. Probably about 10-15 minutes. I did get a smaller cabbage. I wasn't sure how much would fit in here, and I'm probably glad I did. Let me pull this cutting board back so I can get this. Just get the rest of this cut up real quick and put in there. I'm hoping to get a lot of cabbages this year because I do want to can my own sauerkraut. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to. Alright. I'm going to want this to come to a quick boil underneath there with that liquid from the hamburger so it starts steaming this cabbage and breaking it down. It will be a lot less when we open it up. For those of you that have cooked with cabbage, you know, just like greens, it's going to wilt down. Not as fast as greens, but it will. So, clean up my mess here. I'm also, actually while we're doing that, let me put the lid on here so it can start steaming. And now the recipe also calls for 2 peppers. I did get a red one and a green one. I'm just going to cut around here, get this out. I'm going to save these because the quail, they like these ends and they like the seeds. It's actually good for them. So I save those for them. They won't have to go in the compost. And I'm just going to do these in maybe 1 to 2 inch dice. I want it a little bit large because it's going to cook for a while in the cabbage and I don't want it to be mush when it comes out. Let's get these seeds and membranes out of here. It has been raining for 2 days up here. It's supposed to be kind of just cloudy today, but then it's going to start raining and storming again tomorrow, and then the rest of the week it looks like we're going to have some nice days that I can actually get out there and start working again. We got to get the chicken coop and the goat pen done because we want to get those before spring. So we got a lot of work to do up here, but we're enjoying it. Okay, there's my green pepper. Put that in here. I'm just going to put it right on top. I can hear it boiling in there, bubbling away, so that's going to start steaming soon. And what I could do to make it go a little faster, get a little bit more juice in there, is I'm going to pour my tomato sauce, and I have an 8-ounce can of just plain tomato sauce. I'm going to put that down in there. And let me put there. And 1 can, this is a 14-ounce can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. I'm going to put those right on top as well. And then I'm going to pray that we don't overflow. Let me see if I can get that down a little bit. May have to let this cook down before we put this other pepper and the onion in there. Set that over there. Get that to steaming. And I'll cut up the onion and the other pepper and we'll just have it ready to put in there when that cooks down a little bit. Trying to go around and not get as many seeds loose from that center core and save them for the quail. So I'm not wasting any of this. If I got a little extra pepper on there, the quail love it. Get out this membrane. Well, for those of you who have not cut peppers, if you'll notice I'm cutting them with the glossy, the outside down, because your knife will slide on this and it's easily to get cut. So it's best if you do cut it with the shiny outside down, and then you can just slide right through it and you're not going to cut yourself. Turn these around. Growing up, we had cabbage all the time. Mom made sauerkraut. She also made cabbage dishes. One of my favorites is cabbage, potatoes, and onions. And sometimes she'd put smoked sausage in there. That's one of my favorite meals growing up. And cabbage is good for you, so that's a good thing. All right, let me move these over to the front here. And then make room for my onion. I can see it's starting to steam up on the top of the pan there, or lid there, so that cabbage should be cooking down shortly. My bowl's getting a little full over here. I thought it was a little too early to start putting things out, because as you know, I'm new to Tennessee and starting my garden, but I saw some other people here in East Tennessee was putting out their cabbage, their carrots, peas, which I'm going to be doing too, and she said that this is the best time to do it. So I do want to get my sweet peas out because that's one of the things my mama used to grow. She'd be out there at the beginning of the east, right before spring, I guess right about now, planting her peas, and she had some beautiful pea vines. And yes, I'm making a mess on my table here. All right. Now I'm going to take a break. I'm going to let this cook down some so we can get these onions and peppers in there, and then we'll go through the rest of the ingredients. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, y'all, we're back. As you can see, I already put in the onions and the was it the red or the green that I did last? I think it was the red. So I've already put the red pepper and the onions in here. It's cooking down. I do want to get my spices in here now so it can start seasoning while it's cooking. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of the Cajun seasoning. You can use more if you like. You can use less. I find this 1 tablespoon is plenty. And I'm going to put in probably a tablespoon, tablespoon and a half of garlic powder. I'm going to start with a tablespoon because I don't want, it can give it a little bit of spice and bite to it. So I'm just going to put 1 tablespoon in because there is garlic powder in my Cajun seasoning. And then a little salt and pepper. Now I don't put as much salt in there, so I know if you buy the store brand, make sure you can get low sodium, I believe low sodium Cajun seasoning, but try not to over salt it because of the Cajun seasoning. So let's salt and pepper that a little bit. And carefully, we're going to try to stir that down in there. And then we're just going to cover this and let it simmer away and cook for about 10-15 minutes until the cabbage is broke down, the onions and the peppers are softened. And then I will take the lid off and let it boil a little bit more if there's still a lot of liquid down in here. That way I can boil off. But right now I want the liquid in there so it helps get this cabbage and everything cooked down quicker. So I'm going to cover this and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, we're back and I'm all steamed up here in my glasses as you can see. The cabbage is basically done. I'm going to turn it off. I did, when I put in everything and I left last time, I realized I didn't put my tomato paste in. I usually put like 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. That just gives it a more tomatoey flavor. And because all the juice is going to cook out of that tomato sauce and the canned tomatoes we put in, don't try to go put more salt or water or more sauce in thinking it's going to make it more rich. Use tomato paste because the cabbage, the peppers, and the onions are going to release a lot of water and you're going to have this basically boiling instead of frying. But this is completely done. I'm trying to talk a little bit here and let it cool off a little bit before I put it in my mouth. Get me a plate over here. We're just going to dip some of this up. This stuff smells good. I'm still steaming up my glasses. Get some of those peppers in there. And of course, you know I'm going to make it pretty. I'm going to use some of this dried parsley that Mom had made or dried for us. And then let's get a little taste here. Yes, that's hot, but yes, that is delicious. The cabbage is just tender. It has just a tad bit of bite to it. If you want to have it so it's more crunchy, you can cook it, a little less time. If you want it more tender, you can cook it even longer. This is delicious. It's very easy to do. You can throw any of if you don't like the peppers, you don't have to put the peppers in there or the onions. As Mom would say, just make it your own. But that Cajun seasoning, now when you make your Cajun seasoning, I don't know where I put mine, here it is. You can use however much cayenne pepper, how much spice you want in it. If you don't want it really spicy, you don't have to. But Cajun's supposed to be a little bit spicy. And you're controlling everything. You're controlling the salt, everything that you're putting in it. You can change it a little, but I will put the recipe down below with this recipe. I'll add my spice mix in there, and I'll also put it on my website, gregs-kitchen.com. I'm wanting to wrap this up because this is delicious, and I'm going to go get some more of it. I appreciate you all coming and joining me every day that Mom and I are putting out a video. We can't thank you enough. We're over 25,000. I think we're 25,000.6 viewers now. Subscribers, we call you family and friends. And it just keeps going and going and going. If you're not getting our videos in your feed all the time, look and make sure you're still subscribed, because as I told you in a couple videos back, YouTube does take people off of the subscriptions every now and then. I'm not sure why they do it. All the channels are finding that out. I found that I was taking off a couple that I watch on an almost daily basis whenever they put anything out. And don't forget to hit the ring button, the little bell. That way, anytime we put out a video, you'll be notified immediately that it's there. And if you want to watch it, you can go in there and watch it. So again, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit the like button. Y'all have a great weekend, and God bless. Bye-bye.